Have you ever walked through a museum, stopped in front of a painting, and felt that there was something more to it than what meets the eye? Not just beauty or skill, but a kind of hidden message, a code whispering through the brushstrokes. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating artistic mysteries of all time, the enigma of Masonic symbols in art. From medieval cathedrals to Renaissance masterpieces, from modern monuments to the quiet details of forgotten frescoes, Masonic and esoteric symbols have been woven into our culture in ways most people never notice. And once you start to see them, you cannot unsee them. But let's set the stage. The Freemasons are often called the world's oldest secret society. Their influence has stretched across centuries, shaping architecture, philosophy, politics, and yes, art. The thing about secret societies is that their symbols become their language. And these symbols, like the compass and square, the all-seeing eye, the checkerboard floor, the blazing star, are everywhere. Not just in lodges, but hidden in paintings, sculptures, and even in the design of entire cities. They are like breadcrumbs left for the initiated, and for the curious among us who dare to look closer. Imagine walking into the Louvre in Paris. Among the vast collection, there are countless works touched, directly or indirectly, by Masonic thought. Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper is often analyzed through this lens. While it predates formal Freemasonry, scholars have argued that da Vinci's fascination with geometry, proportion, and hidden meaning resonates with what later became Masonic philosophy. The careful arrangement of the apostles, the triangular composition around Christ, and the play of light and shadow have long fueled speculation. Is it coincidence, or is it a coded conversation waiting to be unlocked? And then there's the Cathedral of Chartres, a medieval marvel in France. Long before the rise of speculative Freemasonry, cathedral builders were part of operative guilds, stonemasons, literally. Chartres is filled with esoteric geometry, labyrinth patterns, and stained glass that encodes biblical and cosmic ideas. Some believe that when speculative Freemasonry emerged, it inherited not only the tools, but also the spiritual and symbolic language of these builders. Walk the labyrinth on the cathedral floor, and you are not just walking a path, you are retracing a cosmic journey, a hidden map of the soul. Across the Atlantic, in Washington, D.C., Masonic influence is carved into the very bones of the city. The layout of streets, the placement of monuments, the soaring obelisk of the Washington Monument, all these have been linked to Masonic ideals. Look at the Great Seal of the United States, the unfinished pyramid topped with the all-seeing eye. It's a symbol straight out of esoteric tradition, now printed on every dollar bill. Was it simply a nod to Enlightenment philosophy, or was it a deliberate encoding of Masonic vision into the identity of a nation? But let's not stop at architecture. Let's dive back into paintings, the kind you stand in front of for hours, convinced there's something more. Take Francisco Goya. His works are often dark, filled with shadows and strange figures. Goya lived in a world where secret societies thrived, and many of his pieces seem to pulse with coded allegory. The Caprichos series, with its nightmarish imagery, can be read as a critique of power, ignorance, and superstition. Yet, embedded within are subtle nods to the symbolic language of the initiated. The owl, for example, a creature of wisdom but also of the night, hovers in his work as a possible sign of hidden knowledge. Or consider William Blake, the visionary poet and painter of the 18th century. Blake was not a Mason, but his art resonates deeply with Masonic and esoteric currents of his time. His use of sacred geometry, the constant interplay of light and dark, heaven and earth, is like a visual ritual. In his illustration, The Ancient of Days, we see a bearded figure bending from the heavens with a compass in hand, inscribing the universe. This image feels almost like an emblem of Masonry itself, the divine architect shaping creation with geometry as his tool. The Renaissance was full of such imagery. Albrecht Dürer, the German master, left behind engravings brimming with mysterious objects and geometric forms. His famous Melancholia wine depicts a winged figure surrounded by tools, measuring instruments, and a magic square. Is it simply an allegory of melancholy and genius? Or is it a veiled treatise on the Masonic ideal of mastering the material and the spiritual through knowledge and balance? And then we have the question of the all-seeing eye. You've seen it countless times, on pyramids, in church paintings, above doorways, on currency. In Christian art, it represents God's omniscience. But in Masonic usage, it also signifies the watchful eye of the great architect of the universe, a reminder of higher truth and accountability. Artists have placed it subtly in the corners of canvases, glowing in stained glass windows, or hovering in frescoes. Once you begin to look for it, it appears like a quiet guardian everywhere. But why hide these symbols at all? Why not just display them openly? The answer lies in the very nature of secret societies. Symbols are a way of speaking to two audiences at once. To the uninitiated, a painting might just be beautiful. To the initiated, it is a book of knowledge, a guide, a mirror. This dual function turns art into a kind of spiritual puzzle box. Some symbols are meant to invite curiosity. Others are meant to conceal truth until the viewer is ready to understand. Let's take another concrete example, the works of Nicolas Poussin, the French Baroque painter. His famous piece, Et in Arcadia Ego, has stirred endless debate. Some claim it encodes Masonic and Rosicrucian wisdom about mortality and eternal life. The geometric arrangement of figures, the hidden proportions, the symbolic landscape, it all feels too deliberate to be chance. Poussin himself was rumored to have connections with esoteric circles, and his art may well be a tapestry of hidden messages. Even in the 20th century, the language of Masonic symbols has not vanished. Consider the murals of Diego Rivera. At first glance, Rivera's work is political, social, revolutionary. But look closer, and you'll find references to cosmic order, to secret knowledge, to the duality of human existence. His fascination with the intersection of science, art, and hidden wisdom places him squarely in the tradition of embedding layered meaning in plain sight. And let's not forget about architecture as living art. The Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland is one of the most famous examples of Masonic and esoteric symbolism carved in stone. Its columns, arches, and intricate carvings include everything from angel musicians to mysterious green men. The chapel has been called a Bible in stone, but many argue it's also a Masonic text in architecture. The intertwining of Christian and esoteric motifs suggests a deliberate weaving of hidden knowledge into sacred space. Now, as we explore these examples, it's important to stress something. Not every triangle, not every star, not every compass is a Masonic symbol. But the recurring patterns, the consistent embedding of these motifs across time and geography, point to something larger. It suggests a cultural current, an undercurrent that has flowed beneath the surface of art history, guiding and shaping how knowledge, mystery, and power are encoded. And here's where it gets really fascinating. Art historians debate endlessly whether these symbols were consciously placed as Masonic emblems or whether they are simply part of a broader symbolic vocabulary. But perhaps that's the point. Symbols work because they are ambiguous. They invite interpretation. They make you wonder. They are bridges between the seen and the unseen. Let's step back for a moment. Picture yourself standing in front of a canvas in a quiet gallery. People shuffle past, glancing quickly before moving on. But you stay. You notice the checkerboard floor beneath the figures, the subtle triangle formed by their poses, the small glowing eye painted high in the sky. Suddenly, the painting isn't just a painting anymore. It's a doorway. And once you walk through it, you join a lineage of seekers, initiates, dreamers, and rebels who have always looked for more in the images around them. That's the enigma of Masonic symbols in art. They are hiding in plain sight, waiting for those with eyes to see. They transform walls into texts, paintings into codes, sculptures into sermons. They remind us that art is never just decoration. It is communication, initiation, revelation. So the next time you find yourself in a museum, a cathedral, or even just handling a dollar bill, look closer. Ask yourself, is this just design, or is it a message? Is it coincidence, or is it intention? That moment of questioning is exactly what these symbols are meant to spark. And whether you believe in the vast influence of Freemasons, or simply enjoy the thrill of uncovering hidden meanings, there's no denying that this symbolic language has shaped art, culture, and imagination for centuries. The compass, the square, the blazing star, the all-seeing eye, they are more than motifs. They are keys. Keys to stories that continue to unfold, long after the brush has dried and the stone has set. So stay curious, keep your eyes open, because the world is filled with hidden layers, and the more you look, the more you see. The enigma is not meant to be solved once and for all. It is meant to keep us searching, questioning, wondering. That is the real power of Masonic symbols in art. They turn every viewer into a seeker.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Feel free to share it with a friend who loves a good mystery. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so you won't miss the next story. There's a lot more to uncover, and I'd love to have you along for the journey.